The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. A reality TV bad boy, his ex-wife, and the ultimate betrayal by the one person paid to protect their image. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Yeah, and I mean, we are looking at a story today that just completely dismantles the boundary between reality television and, well, actual reality.
Exactly. And if you are joining us for this deep dive, you are in for an absolute masterclass in modern celebrity mechanics because we are tackling a headline that has just completely engulfed the internet this week.
It really has. It's everywhere.
Right. The headline is, Jax Taylor sparks romance rumors with a woman close to his ex. And to really get into this, we are pulling from a massive stack of sources today.
Huge stack. We've got the breaking TMZ reports, obviously.
Right, and the deep docs from the Ashley's Reality Roundup. But we are also weaving in some actual academic research.
Yes, which I love.
Me too. We have a piece from Scholar Commons on the actual philosophy of what makes someone famous in the first place.
Yeah.
Because our mission today is to take this seemingly, trashy tabloid story and unpack the messy, highly calculated intersection of PR manipulation and the creation of the modern celebrity.
Right, and that Scholar Commons piece, it analyzes Daniel Boorstin's concept of well-knownness, which really provides the underlying architecture for everything we're going to discuss today.
It totally does.
Because we are going to look at how a scandalous vacation photo isn't just gossip, it's not an accident, it's a product, manufactured for public consumption.
So to understand the machinery behind that product, we really have to start with the main event itself, the betrayal in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh boy, yes.
We were talking about July 2026. The setting is the incredibly luxurious Hotel Mousai in Mexico. Jax Taylor is there celebrating his 47th birthday.
Right, a birthday trip.
Exactly. And thanks to some very eagle-eyed paparazzi and photos exclusively obtained by TMZ, we see Jax in an infinity pool, engaged in, very heavy PDA.
Very heavy.
Yeah. But the woman wrapped around him isn't just a random fan or new cast member. It is his longtime publicist, Lori Krebs.
Which is just wild. And according to reporting from Headliner.nl and Entertainment Now, the visual evidence is striking because of its complete lack of subtlety.
Oh, there was zero subtlety.
None at all. They were photographed deeply engaged in these animated conversations, lounging across from each other, embracing in the water. I mean, they made absolutely no effort to hide their physical closeness from the cameras.
Or from the other friends sharing this birthday trip.
Right. They were just out in the open.
Which brings up, honestly, the most fascinating mechanical detail of this whole rollout for me. Lori mysteriously deactivated her Instagram account right before these photos dropped on that Monday.
Just vanished.
Yes. And when you understand how the algorithm works, that isn't a coincidence. It's a strategy.
Oh, absolutely it is.
It creates this information vacuum, right? The photos drop, the public rushes to her page to investigate or, leave angry comments, and the page is just gone.
It's brilliant in a dark way. That mystery amplifies the story, driving engagement on all the blogs and tabloids through the roof.
Right. And that level of tactical awareness is entirely consistent with her background.
It really is. According to a pretty comprehensive profile by Bustle, Lori Krebs is the founder of Loric PR. She is essentially the architect behind the digital presence of Bachelor Nation and, Bravo reality TV stars.
She is huge in that work.
Huge. Her roster includes massive names like Hannah Godwin, Jason Tartick, and crucially for the story, Jax Taylor and his now estranged wife, Brittany Cartwright.
Right.
But her influence actually predates the current reality TV boom. She was a pioneer in influencer marketing before the industry even really had a name for it.
Yeah, the Bustle piece details how she started in the early 2000s, orchestrating some of the first ever sponsored tweets for Lindsay Lohan and Khloe Kardashian.
Wow, the very beginning.
Literally the beginning. Bypassing traditional media gatekeepers entirely. And this completely changed the paradigm of PR. It erased the boundary between a celebrity's personal endorsement and corporate advertising.
Right. It made the celebrity's actual everyday life the real estate being sold.
Exactly.
And that strategy proved so effective that when she had Khloe Kardashian tweet about a brand early on, the influx of traffic literally crashed the brand's website.
That is insane.
It is. That was the moment the industry realized visibility could be directly, instantly monetize, without a magazine or a television network acting as the middleman.
Just direct to consumer.
Exactly. And Lori's signature method for maintaining that visibility is this intense personal enmeshment with her clients. She operates behind the scenes, but also kind of in plain sight.
Right, she's at their events.
Yeah, attending their weddings, celebrating their birthdays, acting as a confidant, and just a fierce protector of their image.
Which leads to a massive conflict of interest. I mean, it's like they aren't actors on a stage. They are the stage itself.
Yes, exactly.
The PR agent isn't selling a ticket to a movie. They are selling shares in a living, breathing attention stock market. And scandal is the ultimate bull run.
That's a great way to put it.
But still, finding your publicist making out with you in a pool is like hiring a security guard to protect your house and then finding them sleeping in your bed.
Right.
It just feels like a complete collapse of the professional firewall. I mean, is this just a symptom of reality TV where the lines between business and personal lives are completely erased?
Well, yes. The collapse of that firewall is the core symptom of what Daniel Boorstin, the historian referenced in that Scholar Commons paper, defined decades ago as the human pseudo-event.
Okay, unpack that for us.
So Boorstin argued that historically, fame was achieved through rare talents, skills, or heroic achievements. Right. You cross the Atlantic, you became famous.
You had to actually do something.
Exactly. But today, the media apparatus can attribute celebrity to someone simply by keeping them visible. A celebrity is a person who is known for their well-knownness.
For their well-knownness.
Yeah.
So a human pseudo-event.
Yeah.
That sounds like an event that wouldn't even exist if the cameras weren't there to capture it.
Precisely.
It's a performance masquerading as reality.
That captures the dynamic perfectly. For reality stars, their actual unfiltered lives are the product. Visibility is the absolute currency of their survival.
Wow.
But as the academic research points out, this creates a really volatile ecosystem.
Yeah.
The media will not only glorify acts, but they will also magnify sins.
Oh, they definitely magnify the sins. So when your entire career is built on the audience watching your personal life, a scandalous affair with your publicist isn't just a private embarrassing mistake. It is premium, highly monetizable content.
Exactly. And Lori, better than almost anyone, understands how to generate that visibility.
And Jax needs it.
Right. Jax requires that visibility to survive in this ecosystem, especially when he isn't actively filming. So the lines between business and personal life don't just blur in this scenario. They are fundamentally incompatible concepts.
It's just wild. But if you think the dynamic between a publicist and a client is messy, just wait. Because the way Jax's ex-wife factors into this and how she actually defended this exact woman just 2 years ago adds a completely brutal psychological layer to the story.
It really does.
And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
So to really understand how this attention stock market operates, we need to look at how the asset was being protected when the initial threats surfaced, right?
Yes, the lead up.
The timeline leading up to this Mexico trip reveals exactly how the illusion was maintained.
So we have to look back at early 2024. The gossip ecosystem was already churning with rumors about an affair between Jax and Lori. Des Moines had essentially broadcasted that the tea was piping hot.
Right, it was out there.
Now, logically, you might expect a spouse to pull away from the publicist under those circumstances, right?
You would think so.
Instead, Brittany Cartwright goes on their joint podcast when reality hits and vehemently defends Lori.
Yes, she doubled down.
She calls her a super hard worker and a very, very good friend. She even laughed off a controversial photo of Jax and Lori in Montreal, actively telling her audience to calm down.
Which is just heartbreaking in retrospect. And the defense wasn't purely verbal either.
No, it wasn't.
By May of 2024, Taste of Reality reported that Brittany was photographed happily hanging out with Lori at Jax's Studio City bar.
I remember that photo.
Yeah. The public display of unity was so jarring that fellow Bravo star Shiana Shea famously commented WTF on social media.
Which is saying something coming from Shiana.
Exactly. Brittany made a calculated choice to trust her friend and her publicist over the escalating rumors.
And you can see the PR strategy at work there, right? If the wife is smiling next to the publicist, the scandal is neutralized. The pseudo-event is diffused.
It kills the story.
Exactly. But by August 2024, the illusion completely shatters, and Brittany officially files for divorce.
Right, and the divorce proceedings immediately morphed into their own prolonged storyline.
Of course they did.
The Ashley's Reality Roundup documented how the divorce was repeatedly delayed. Brittany later explained on Harry Jowsey's Boyfriend Material podcast that every time they approached finalization, Jax would fail to turn in his paperwork on time, or he would be notoriously, mysteriously out of town.
Which, if we are looking at this through Borston's theory, serves a distinct purpose, right? Dragging out a divorce provides a multi-season narrative arc.
It does. It keeps the conflict unresolved and the audience engaged.
But there are very real human stakes buried under this PR maneuvering, because their priority is their 4-year-old son, Cruz.
Right. And in 2024, Cruz was diagnosed with autism and is mostly nonverbal.
Yeah.
Brittany has been incredibly vocal about navigating the co-parenting relationship, which she admits is highly volatile. She has stated publicly that she initiated the separation specifically so they could be better parents to him, removing the toxic marital dynamic from his immediate environment.
Which is totally understandable, and it adds a very sobering reality to the spectacle of it all. But professionally, Brittany leaned completely into the single narrative.
Oh, she capitalized on it.
She described herself on the podcast as single as a Pringle, and she returned to the Valley Season 3, pulling in over $25,000 per episode.
Wow. Good for her.
Right. But as we look at the fallout, I want to challenge the prevailing narrative of Brittany purely as the victim of this betrayal, based on a detail from the sources.
Okay, let's hear the counterpoint.
So after she split from Jax, Brittany briefly dated Jax's friend, Julian Sensley.
Right, I remember that making headlines.
She told E! News that they were just hooking up, but she credited Julian with helping bring her back to life and rebuilding her confidence after years of feeling mistreated.
Okay.
So if we were talking about crossing boundaries here, Brittany dated her ex-husband's friend. Jax hooked up with their mutual publicist. If Brittany dated Jax's friend, isn't there a double standard here? Or is the betrayal worse because Lori was on the payroll?
Well, it's a great question. When you look at the economics of reality TV alliances, dating a cast member's friend is practically a genre requirement.
True, it happens all the time.
It creates a clean, understandable storyline for the viewers. It keeps the drama within the established cinematic universe of the show, right?
Right, they're all in the same circle anyway.
Exactly. The reason the publicist angle feels so deeply transgressive is that it breaks the fourth wall.
Ah, okay.
A publicist is the person trusted with the deepest vulnerabilities of a family specifically to protect their brand. Breaking that firewall feels like a violation of a highly paid, sacred trust.
Yeah, the publicist is supposed to write the script, not star in it.
Precisely. And this is all a battle for visibility and narrative control. The audience consumes this drama as a way to participate in a broader cultural conversation.
We want to feel included in the community.
Exactly. When Brittany dates the friend or Jax hooks up with the publicist, the audience gets to take sides, debate morality in the comments, and engage with the content.
So we are feeding the beast.
We are. The academic perspective suggests that in this ecosystem, moral failings are financially incentivized by audience metrics. These events are highly efficient mechanisms to generate the required attention to sustain their careers.
It is a brilliant, if entirely cynical, machine.
Very cynical.
But later in this deep dive, we're going to talk about what happens when the machine breaks the person inside it. Because the shocking twist nobody saw coming involves Jax's career, a severed tie, and a dark spiral.
Yes. The narrative takes a very serious turn in the summer of 2025. Because this desperate need for continuous visibility comes at a massive psychological cost, which actually explains the total system failure Jax experienced.
Right, so we jump forward to July 2025, and Jax makes a massive announcement that completely halts the reality TV machine. He steps away from Season 3 of The Valley.
Which was huge news. Reporting from the News International detailed the severity of the situation. Jax needed to focus entirely on his mental health and, crucially, maintain his abstinence from cocaine. Yeah. The pressure of living inside the pseudo-event had become unsustainable. He actually spoke on his own podcast, In the Mind of Jax Taylor, about the visceral toll the show was taking on him.
And he used an incredibly vivid metaphor for the reality TV experience.
He did.
He said filming the show felt like a scab getting ripped open repeatedly.
Ugh, that's intense.
It really is. And he publicly apologized for his verbal abuse during Season 2, acknowledging that his erratic behavior was incredibly triggering for viewers to watch.
Right.
He discussed the intense stress of finding a new therapist and committing to an inpatient facility. It presented as a moment of genuine self-reflection. A desperate desire to heal away from the cameras and the PR spin.
It really seemed that way. Which brings us to a major digital development in August of 2025.
Right, the twist.
Reality Blurb reported that Jax and Lori Krebs seemingly cut ties completely.
Completely.
They unfollowed each other on Instagram, and Jax removed Lori's contact information from all of his social media bios.
Which, I mean, in the reality TV ecosystem, a digital unfollowing is the equivalent of issuing a formal press release.
Yes. It signals a definitive public end to their professional relationship.
Right.
The narrative being constructed was one of isolation and healing. Jax was visibly separating himself from the enablers of his past to focus on his sobriety and his responsibilities as a father.
But then we get the cinematic reveal.
Oh, yeah.
The ultimate timeline contradiction. After publicly severing those professional ties, and after Jax stepping away from the spotlight to heal in isolation, fast forward exactly 1 year to July 2026, the TMZ photos drop.
Yeah.
They are suddenly caught wrapped around each other in a pool in Mexico.
It completely shatters the redemption arc they had spent a year constructing.
It really does, and the reaction was swift. A source close to Brittany told Page Six that she feels profoundly betrayed.
And you can see why.
Right. It isn't just the romance itself, it's the psychological dissonance of realizing that 2 years ago, when she actively chose to trust Lori and defend her publicly, she was likely being manipulated.
Yeah, that has to hurt.
It is a retroactive confirmation that her lived reality was being twisted by the very professional hired to manage it.
Exactly.
So I have to ask you to analyze this based on everything we know about Borston's theory and Lori's background in influencer marketing.
Okay.
Based on the timing, Jax being off television, needing to re-enter the cultural conversation, is this a genuine romance born out of the ashes of his career? Or is this the ultimate pseudo-event, like a calculated paparazzi stunt by a former publicist and a reality star desperate to stay relevant while off the air?
It's the million-dollar question. And when you synthesize the sources, you realize that separating genuine emotion from calculated spectacle is practically impossible.
Really?
Yeah, and that ambiguity is the entire point. Look at how the paparazzi and the reality TV ecosystem operate symbiotically. These participants are no longer just living lives. They are generating consumable content.
For their followers.
Yes. Lori Krebs understands exactly what deactivating an Instagram account right before photos leak will do to the news cycle.
She practically invented it.
Exactly. And Jax Taylor knows that by skipping season 3 of The Valley, his cultural currency is rapidly depreciating.
So they needed a headline, massive enough to force their way back into the center of the Bravo universe.
Precisely. Whether the physical attraction in that infinity pool is genuine or not almost doesn't matter in the economy of attention.
Wow.
The pseudo-event isn't necessarily a fake event. It's an event that exists primarily for the purpose of being reported on.
Right.
The animated conversation, the public unfollowing a year prior, the dramatic reunion in Mexico, it all serves the singular goal of keeping them in the spotlight. They are feeding the tabloids, the blogs, and the fans the exact drama required to keep the machine running.
It completely reframes how you look at these scandals. The drama isn't a byproduct of their lives. The drama is the actual product being manufactured, packaged, and sold directly to us.
And if we connect back to the bigger picture established in the Scholar Commons research, it leaves us with a deeply uncomfortable philosophical question.
Lay it on us.
We spend an enormous amount of energy analyzing, dissecting, and judging reality stars for their messy lives, their betrayals, and their shameless PR stunts, right?
I do. We're doing it right now.
Exactly. But aren't we, the audience, the true directors of this show?
Oh, wow.
By constantly consuming these human pseudo-events, by clicking on the TMZ paparazzi photos, by debating their morality in comment sections, are we the ones forcing these celebrities to commodify their most intimate betrayals just to keep our attention?
That is wow.
If we simply refuse to look, would the pseudo-event even exist? It's a critical lens to apply the next time you find yourself entirely captivated by a Hollywood scandal.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.